Hello everybody, this is Bleakborn, and today I got a special video for you guys. Today I am doing the first of a budget Vivarium build series, and it's going to be pretty budget. So, with most Vivariums, you want to start by knowing what you're going to be building this for. Currently, this is just going to house plants for me, but I'm going to make it usable for other potentially dendrobates or other kinds of dart frogs in the future. But for starting out, I am going to start with, you guessed it, a basic 10-gallon tank. And I'm going to keep it horizontal. This was what Ziggy was in before. I've cleaned it up. I decided, well, let's put it to use and actually turn it into a vivarium. I have built a similar one for the lizard, Casey, but this one's going to require a little more substrate because I need to put a substrate layer in there of hydro balls and then some other stuff. But I'll get right into it. So first thing, tank. And you want to research how big you want and how much space your creature you're going to need that you want to keep. Next, you're going to need to figure out what your background is going to look like. I ended up buying a gallon bag of Corkbark because they make pretty decent looking backgrounds. So I'll just put out my big pile of Corkbark. A gallon is a lot. You can cover a lot of space with a gallon. So boom, pile of a gallon. I'll do the process where I kind of place the bark and stuff and then kind of map out where I need to put my other steps. But I also got one Corkbark tube. It's probably going to come off a back wall, house some plants or something. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out as we go. So that's what I got for Corkbark. The Corkbark gallon bag was like $7 or so from New England Herp. This cork tube, I believe, was $3 or $5, somewhere in there. It's not very big for what you're getting though, so you could omit it. I've done it in the past where I've taken a couple pieces of Corkbark and kind of made a little like capture where it's like a half of a tube just out of a couple pieces and then put a net pot in there. So we'll go on to the next step. I also have a couple leftover pieces of driftwood from the other build. So I'm going to see if I can fit any of these in. I don't know. This is all ghost wood here. It was kind of like a accent bag that they sold, but kind of not too happy with it. I would have loved to pick them out in person, but for, how much was it? Like $5 for 3 pieces, just to kind of, moss will grow all over and it'll look really cool, give you some distinct features. But you don't need this. And this is a piece that I had ordered, and I didn't like the shape of it. I'm still not 100% sure on it, but I'm going to see if I can get it to work in the background. I believe this was like $12 or so, which is a little above our budget, but I'll see if I use it. The next step for the background, you're going to need to have some coconut fiber. You don't need really much. This is to fill in the gaps between your Corkbark and your pieces of wood, and it kind of just gives it a more natural natural look to it. I will be attaching all that with GE black silicone #1. I used clear last time, and I was not happy that I could see the clear. I could see the what is it called? Gaps and crack orange stuff that you use to make the 3D back really help pop. The black will help cover it. This is like $3, at least up here. I'm sure you can find it for a couple bucks down, or even like a couple bucks down in like Home Depot or something. This up here was like $5, but I've seen them for $3, $2. So you can find these for cheaper. Something I can't find for cheaper is the hydro balls. I'm kind of stuck buying these from Petco for $10 a bag, and you need about 2 bags to do a whole bottom of a 10-gallon tank. Probably a bag and a half, but better to be safe than sorry. You're also going to need is, what do they call this? Weedblock or something. This goes between your hydro balls and your substrate layer to keep keep your soil from getting into the water, and kind of add a barrier there that the water will drain through, but your soil will not. The next thing you're going to need, which is obviously something to pump the silicone in. And I also made this little tool here, just out of a double-sided serrated steak knife that I bent into a shape, because this is how you're going to cut your foam once you've applied it. And you got to make it rough so you can reapply more silicone to it. Move the tank out of the way. You're also going to need some way of draining out the water in the bottom. I'm going with a piece of PVC that's going to stick along one corner and drill a bunch of holes through the bottom, and then I'll just pump out the water whenever I feel like I need to change it, every couple weeks or so. Or if it starts overflowing, which in this system, unlike my other system, I have a pretty big gap where it'll kind of evaporate out and kind of keep that perfect level. This will be how I'll have to change this one out. This is just to show you Eco-Earth. When you're making your substrate, you're making your backing stuff, you're going to just want to get a brick of this, wet it down, then dry it out thoroughly so you can apply it to the back. And lastly is my soil mix. So this is essentially ABG, but I've kind of homemade it. It's got all sorts of stuff in here. It's got bark, it's got charcoal, it's got coconut fiber, it's got coconut husk, it's got peat moss. The only thing I didn't get in here is long fiber sphagnum. I'm still looking to find some good stuff for that, but this will provide good substrate, and I am testing it with my springtail culture and my gray isopods to make sure that's good and, not bad or anything. Like I didn't put a piece of bad charcoal in there or something. So at least I'm testing. And you don't want to use briquettes or anything. This one I actually pulled out of my fire pit, dusted it off, cleaned it off, and made sure I picked the right kind of charcoal out of it. You can buy lump charcoal. You can also blacksmith a lump charcoal, which eventually I'll show you guys a video all about blacksmithing, but I just have not had the time, and it's always snowing or cold in Minnesota. So that's all you guys need to see for the parts, and we'll jump right into the setup. So I'll see you there. back. I hope that wasn't too stressful watching me place all these pieces. So this is pretty much going to be my layout, I think, for the background. You can see from my angle how it's going to look all. So we got plenty of places to plant plants. And I left enough room, hopefully, for substrate. Some of this stuff's probably going to have to move up a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to prep it for the next step, which is putting this one. I'm going to try out something different than I've normally done. I'm going to lay down my black silicone first to kind of like cover up the areas I don't like. I also might bring this side all the way over. What are you doing, Boris? Boris doesn't like birds. He chatters at birds. I should get you guys a video of that soon too. But I'll probably add a little bit more on there, a little on the side, but I'm going to take it down to an area I actually can work on it, and then I will show you guys the next step.